Bay Area Representative Khanna.
President Abbas has said, quote, "It would be the biggest catastrophe in the Palestinian people's history." And yet this morning I read that Prime Minister Netanyahu is saying, with or without a hostage deal, he plans to go in to Rafah.
Joining us now from Washington, D.C. is Congressman Khanna, who represents the Silicon Valley. Congressman, nice to have you back on the program. Two ways I'd like to go at this, if you don't mind, from the college protests on campuses to what you did today on Capitol Hill. Let's start on campus. What should happen when these protests turn violent or destructive? What should the colleges do here?
Well, Raj, first of all, thanks for having me back. There's no excuse or justification for anything that turns violent or that engages in vile attacks or toxicity against Jewish students, Muslim students, or any ethnic group. So, of course, if a incident is engaged in violence, then you have to report that to law enforcement. And if someone is saying kill the Jews or globalize the Intifada, there need to be consequences. But I will say that the vast majority of these young students, many of whom I met at University of Michigan, Wisconsin, Nevada, at home, are engaged in peaceful protests because they want the war to end. And they should not be facing consequences if they are engaged in peaceful protests.
Congressman, what are you hearing from your constituents here at home? What stands out to you?
Well, overwhelmingly, people in our district, in my district, which is the heart of Silicon Valley, San Jose, and the peninsula and East Bay, want the war to end. I mean, in my town halls, people are saying, stop giving more bombs to Netanyahu. Too much loss of life. I mean, the entire district was condemned. The October 7th horrific Hamas attack. They want the hostages released, but they've seen too many deaths, and they want this war to end.
Your comments to the Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin, earlier today. What do you think will happen here from your political stance viewpoint there in Washington? Will Israel invade Rafah?
Well, I certainly hope not. And, after Secretary Austin, we met with National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan. They are hopeful that there could be some deal in the next couple days. Israel has agreed to taking less hostages, that the ball is now in Hamas's court. And I certainly hope that Hamas would agree to release these Americans and innocent hostages, and that we could get some pause on the violence. But I made it clear to Secretary Austin, you could see my interview, that the American people do not want Netanyahu to go into Rafah. And he basically said, yeah, there will be a lot of people who will be killed if that happens, and they aren't able to evacuate 1 million people, and it's hard to evacuate 1 million people. So the question is what the president would do if that happened, and Secretary Austin and others have said he basically will keep all his options on the table, but there could be significant consequences for Netanyahu.
President Biden has been talking for months about a ceasefire here. Why can't he get this done?
Well, one, I think he does need to have more consequences on both sides to say, look, we've got to get the hostages released and a peace. I mean, to do that, some of it is out of his control. We have very little leverage on Hamas and on Netanyahu. We don't have as much leverage as we should have. But I do think the president's tone needs to continue to get tougher on the parties.
Congressman Khanna from Washington, appreciate your time tonight. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Raj.